Okay, three, two, one, go. Hey, my name is Mohamed Limlaba, and today I'm going to be presenting a project that I built, life simulation. So, what was the purpose of this project? It was to answer this question: can you put creatures with tiny, simple, random configured brain in a complex world, give them a criteria for survival, and see smart behavior emerge? I tried answering this question while building this project, and it was a lot of fun. So this project was inspired by a guy on YouTube called named David, and he built this project a long time ago where he built small creatures and he put them in a complex world where he gave them a criteria for survival, and over time they become smarter and smarter, and they were actually able to survive and find strategies for survival, which was very very cool. And I had about 15 hours to do this project. So I was inspired by a hackathon that I just attended, and I discovered that you can do a lot in a short period of time if you just focus. So I tried to achieving this in about 15 hours. So let me just do the demo of the project right now. So when I start my simulation, you're gonna see here my little creatures moving around all in random directions because of their random configured brains. Um, After about 100 seconds, I kill about half of them and I use the survivors to restart the simulation. But so I ran this for a very, very long time. I ran it over and over and over again. Um, and after running this for about, let's say, 100 simulation, I was expecting the survival rate to increase, but to my surprise, it didn't. So it didn't increase as expected. They do not get any smarter, but we can explore why did that happen. So let me just go back to my presentation. So let's look at the brain anatomy of our creatures. So first they have sensory input, and then sensory input, I categorize them into categories where I have internal input and external input. The internal input tells you about the internal state of the creature, so things about age, gender, oscillators, hydration, and etc. And then you have external and out inputs, which are going to tell you about the state of the world within the creature's vicinity. So it's going to tell you things like border, population, the last movement X, last movement Y, and all those kind of things. And also you have internal neurons, and then you have output or action neurons. So the output or action neurons could also be categorized into categories. You have internal input, internal output, and external output. Internal output could also be okay. Output things includes things that change the internal state of the creature, and then the external output includes things that change um, the world in one way or another. So things like movement, killing another creature, all those kind of things. And then you have your internal neurons. It took me a really, really a long time to try and be able to understand this. Uh, I still don't understand it very, very well, but how I understand it right now is that the more internal neurons you have in your brain, the more layers you create. And the more layers you create, the deeper your creatures could think, basically. And then one internal neuron can connect to another one, or it can connect to itself, forming some kind of short term memory. And then let's look at how our genes are constructed. So you have genes can be made of two neurons, one called the source and one called a sink. A sink could be either an internal or input neuron, which has an output value of -1 to 1. And then you have your output neuron or your internal neuron, which makes up the sink. And then they're connected with a weighted connection of between of a value between -4 to 4, and this value is calculated randomly at the beginning of the simulation. And then your genome is just a list of genes. Initially I had about 4 genes per creature, but they were